Today, YouTubers, we're working on a Samsung refrigerator. This refrigerator has been displaying a Samsung code of 21C on the display here. Right now I have the refrigerator turned off, but that's the number, the code I was getting, 21C, and it was flashing and constantly on. Right now I believe it's the fan, the evaporator fan motor that's defective, and that's what I'm going to remove. And if you look at other videos, it'll show you how to get to the bottom freezer here and how to disassemble everything here. So I'm not going to repeat that step, but I am going to show you how I replace the fan, and hopefully that'll get this refrigerator opening. Now, to show you the specific model of this, I'll open inside, and hopefully there's enough light that you can see the model number. Okay, I think you could be able to see it. It's a Samsung RF25HMEDBSR AA. That's the model number of this refrigerator. And like I said, it appears to be the evaporator fan motor that's defective. And the symptoms were that when we were putting food in the freezer, we were beginning to see some of the food to defrost. Okay, I'm going to pause this and get back to you to show you how to replace the fan motor. So what you're seeing now is the actual fan motor, and that was behind this particular unit, and there was two screws to remove, one on each side to actually get this unit off. And like I said, a previous video, and I'll refer to it on the link below, shows you how to get to this particular piece, so I'm not going to repeat that. Alright, so the first step here is we're going to remove all four of those screws. Okay, we got the four screws out. Now I'm going to attempt just to lift this right out, this unit, and it looks like it's going to pop out. There you go. There's some little sticky material on the bottom here, but let me see if I can cut that out. Alright, be right back. Alright, I'm back, and from what I can tell, I may just have to remove the screw here that's on the fan housing. It may have not been necessary to remove those four screws that I told you. It might just be sufficient to remove this and then pop up the cover. We'll take a look, and we'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Just want to let you know there's a spring right here that holds this fan onto the motor. And what I had to do was actually use a pick like so and stick it in between the slot there and rotate it slightly while pulling up. And then I kept rotating it, until finally the spring came out. So the spring has now been removed. And now I can continue on with removing the fan. So hopefully now the fan will come off. It should snap off now. Let's be hopeful. Okay, I guess I'll have to put this down again to see if I can pop off this fan. Yes, the fan does pull straight out. It was a little stubborn, but it did finally pop out. Okay, at this point I'm going to remove these two screws to hopefully loosen the whole fan unit as a whole, and we will continue. Alright, I have to correct myself. I did not need to remove those two screws. Actually, when I popped off this cover, took the screw out, and be very careful and gentle. You have to squeeze on this cover a bit and lift out. Same thing on the other side. You have to squeeze on it and then lift it out. And once you've got that out, the motor does pop out. There you go. I have the motor out. Alright, now to remove this clip and get the new one in. Alright, to remove the actual clip, you just got to squeeze down on this plastic, almost like a clear plastic trim, and just squeeze down, directly down. There you go. I've got the See if we can get this in focus. I've got the unit out. So there you go. All right, and let's see if I can show you this clip. There it is, and this clip is the one you need to squeeze down. Of course, you want to squeeze it down this way, and that's what released it. All right, let's put in the new motor. Basically, just drop it in, and then connect the clip. And since I can't do it with one hand, I'm just going to connect it like so. Okay, my next step was just to slide the fan onto it, and that's pretty much it for that. Okay, the next step is to get that spring in. So far I've been pushing it in with my finger. Next I'm going to take the back of a screwdriver and see if I can push it down even further. Alright, I was able to get the fan in and get the spring that was in there, and what my wife suggested was to use a 11/32 socket, and that went right over the shaft of the fan, and I was able to squeeze down the spring. That seemed to work. Again, that was an 11/32 socket, but you can use something that's pretty close to that. I'm pretty sure there's a metric equivalent to that. I did snap back on the cover. As you can see, I snapped that back. Make sure it's in there. It was a little tricky, and also make sure that that foam piece is inside, because apparently that's used to keep moisture out of this housing. Okay, I'm going to reverse my steps here. I'm going back and put this screw in. Next, the 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the 4 screws are back in. They're in just snug, not over tightened. Alright, the next job is to go in here and put that fan housing back in here. But before I do that, I need to make sure that this unit is totally dry. And I'm going to use a hair dryer, but I'm going to use it at the lowest warming setting that I can. I don't want to damage any electronics in here and make more problems for myself. Like, again, I'm just going to use the hair dryer, but at its lowest heating setting. All right, here's my hair dryer. And again, I'm going to put it at the warm setting, not the hot. Okay, what I found here was some bent fins. And what I did is I took a lollipop stick or wooden stick, and I just went ahead and straightened the ones that were bent. Unfortunately, again, because I only have one hand, it was hard for me to show you how it was actually straightening out the fins here. But there were 4 or 5 that were bent, and like I said, I just took a stick here, a wooden stick, and just twisted them back straight and straightened them out. You want to use a stick because you don't want to break any of these fins, and you don't want to puncture a hole in any of the pipes. Alright, the last thing I'm going to do before I assemble this thing is that there's a wire there, this yellow one, right here, and I can see that it has a plastic protective around the wires, but as I get close to the fins, there's none, so I'm going to take that up just to give it some extra protection. And I think this is a thermocouple, probably what reads the temperature for the freezer. Alright? Okay, I got this fan housing back in, and as you can see, it's nice and snug. And the best thing of all is that I can see that the holes are lined up, so that tells me that it should be pretty well lined up. And if you check the other side, you'll see the same. And it looks like the fan housing is all lined up. Again, I'm not going to bore you with how I took this out because it's already a very good video how to disassemble this freezer unit. Alright, and again, I will have that info down below so you can link to it. The screws are in on both sides. They're snug, they're not overly tightened. And I'm going to now put the freezer drawers and everything back. And hopefully, what I'm hoping is that the code 21C is gone. And if it is gone, then we can declare this repair a success. If it isn't, we got a couple of calls to make to Samsung and possibly to the parts supplier to see if they can help out. Alright, as you can see here, I've got the unit assembled. So we're ready for the true test, which is, did I clear the codes or are they still there? Hopefully I cleared the code. Alright guys, the flashing 21C code is now cleared. So it looks like it truly was the evaporator fan motor that was defective. So for you Samsung people who have the same refrigerator like I do, that 21C flashing that stays constantly on, that's the issue, at least it was for me, that the evaporator fan housing motor was defective. Alright, we'll see how well this thing refrigerates. I'm going to tap the freezer temperature so you can see it's right now at 71 and 49, and we'll see if it drops.